of thermo-molded plastic holsters is the Ghost, the Thunder holster. Easily the most heavy metal of all the holsters, as evidenced by the name, the Thunder holster. It used to be called the Stinger, but that's not metal enough, so we changed it. It's the Thunder now. But wait, here's more fake Steadicam footage just like Top Gear. Look at those textures. The Thunder! Thunder holster! Yeah!
So here it is. I've got the holster on my hip here. Got my Practice SP01 loaded up. It presents pretty much adjustable, just like any of the other holsters with a decent hanger. It will adjust. You can adjust the forward cant, rear cant, whatever you want. There's a bunch of different positions you can put it in. I mean, I have it pretty well tuned where I like it to be for my production draw. The holster everybody has more or less in production is due to Ben Stager, is the Boss holster hanger. Everyone had it. It's about $100 to buy one, and this was a good value offering, so I went ahead and tested this out just to see, because my buddy has a Ghost the One holster, which I really liked, and it's got the same hanger as the One. That said, it's not the most rigid this way. It will flex out like that. There's a little bumper pad that keeps it from going in. There's not a lot of flex there. That said, I've yet to miss a draw, I should say. I've been running it for about a month and have one match coming out of the holidays here under the belt with this. But in dry fire, and I do a lot of dry fire, it's been fine running around, drawing on the move, things like that. Just to kind of demonstrate that, I'll just do a couple, shuffle step draws that it's going to be exactly where I expect it to be. So, right there, and the same thing over here. Advancing, and I guess retreating as well. So it's always where it's supposed to be. So in that regard, it's a win. We'll take it back to the tabletop and talk about some things that are kind of weird about it, things I like about it, things I don't like about it. But that's it in practice. So here we have the holster here. The holster body, I'm not real sure the material is, pretty rigid. It has good retention. The mold is very good. It's retained by these two set screws that are adjusted with a Phillips head screwdriver. There is a rubber spacer in the middle and then some lock nuts on the back side. You can see the hanger. The hanger can be positioned a couple different ways. You have to take the holster body off to really get the adjustments just right. There's kind of a contact pad that you kind of set you set against your hip, so it's going to kind of stick off your hip bone. While you can adjust this however you want, you could probably have it poke out. This hits me right in the hip bone, so this is about as far out as the grip is going to get without going longer on these spacers, which could be an option. There was no hardware included for that. As far as the base mounting is concerned, it actually has a pretty good base mount. Takes up a little bit of real estate, however it's kind of thick, as you see there, so it is going to break the separation with the Velcro at your belt from pretty much there to there, but it's not as bad as, like, say, the Ghost pouches, which are just these huge plastic monstrosities which totally divorce your inner belt from your outer belt. But it's not that bad in that regard. You do have kind of a Hex Key Adjustment there to set the angle on the body. That's something absent from, like, the Boss, but it does introduce an element of flex there. You can see where the two hex head bolts go there. What's interesting is it ships with a small hex key, which would, if you can see beyond there, right there, that screw. So the actual itty bitty screws that mount the body to the hanger, they give you an Allen key to adjust. They do not give you an Allen key to adjust the big screws that they have there. So that was kind of odd. Getting it actually, the base itself is made out of what same kind of plastic ABS or whatever that the 360 pouches are made out of. The base is actually it reminds me of it in a lot of ways. It's got the Amadini custom Ghost kind of flying there on the hanger. Look at that, super scary. And it's got it again there on the holster body. You can kind of see it there. At the match, everyone was kind of curious about this. Who would this necessarily, as far as the mold is concerned, my one kind of, you can actually see, this is, I didn't realize it's worn all the way through, but you can kind of see the, look at the sight channel on the body side of the sight channel. I've actually worn a groove. I don't know how well that's showing up on video, but there it is. I've worn a groove from my draw, kind of riding against, you can see down the sight channel there, doing a lot of practicing. Initially, every time I bring the gun out of the holster, the front sight would have some scraped plastic, but I've basically routed it out now. I mean, I'm not super upset at that. To an extent, that happens on every single holster I've ever used, so there's that. But other than that, it's done pretty well. The retention's pretty good. I don't know that I'd use it for free gun. The retention's not that fast. The mouth isn't enlarged enough where you could kind of quickly reholster should you need to. It's fantastic for USPSA production division. It doesn't come with any mounting hardware that would make it IDPA legal. I think they do have an offering that would work for IDPA, but this is a very nice option at a very attractive price point to get a drop offset hanger and a holster body for right around 65 bucks from the Ben Steger Pro Shops where I got this. I think I paid maybe $66 shipped for this holster. Ghost USA sells it direct, however, their price isn't quite as good. If you watch it on Amazon, sometimes things tend to go on sale. That was the best price I could find at the time I bought it, was from the Ben Steger Pro Shop. So shop around, see what you can get, but it's a pretty good option. I would definitely consider it for if you've got another gun that you want to try and run on, in production or something like that, but you don't want to spend, the full money on another boss for another belt or anything like that. I mean, I guess in theory you could buy additional BladeTech bodies and just use your existing boss hanger, but then you'd have to readjust every time. That's kind of a pain. If you just wanted to, something you could bolt onto the belt fairly quickly and be off to the races, this would be a great option as a second holster. I mean, I'm actually going to use this as a first holster. My shooting buddies and I all agree that, while it's not quite as stiff as the boss, it is stiff enough. So it does what we need it to do. It does it pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with it. Really, I got it because there wasn't any information out there about it, which is not a really good way to spend $60, but turned out this was a pretty good purchase. This belt is a fantastic purchase. Just as a little bonus review as an aside on, this is the Ghost Elite belt or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it is $40 shipped on, or maybe $45 shipped on Amazon. I compared it to a DAA Pro belt. The weave is pretty well identical. It was another red belt, and this was actually stiffer. Of course, his was a couple years old at this point, so he's saying it's gonna sag a little bit, but I have a buddy with a new DAA belt who also swears up and down that this is slightly stiffer. That said, you might notice my Arredondo belt keeper here. The belt is so thick that it will not accept both ends of the belt. So the belt keeper is pretty much just there for decoration for the moment. So that's the Ghost belt and the Ghost holster. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, leave a comment. I'm happy to answer any questions. Check out my match videos, check out my other reviews. Give me suggestions for any other videos you'd like to see. Any questions like that, hopefully we can answer them with a video and go from there. Thanks for watching.